Hello everyone. Normally I'm down at the plot every day for at least an hour, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours at times. But certainly the last 2 days I haven't been down here at all, and it's amazing coming back and seeing that difference. And also because I'm not seeing it every day where sort of familiarity breeds contempt, I'm also seeing jobs that I should have been getting on with and I haven't. So I've got all those jobs to catch up on over this next few weeks. A couple of weeks before that, I've had so much on at home that I haven't been able to give it my full attention down here either, which hasn't helped. But those 2 days, yesterday and the day before, were a killer really. But today I'm going to get on with some planting, and then tomorrow onwards we'll start catching up. But let's crack on with the planting now. So this is one of my hot boxes, and I'm going to be planting in here, and then I'll rock this. I'm going to roll it off now, and then I'll roll it back on once I've planted, put the lid on and put some weights on the lid, and it should roll over fairly easily. There we go. So this is where I'm planting, and I'll go and get the plants now. So I'm planting up my broad beans. Just make some little holes. And these are the plants. Now, grown these in modules. I think I sowed these about 3-4 weeks ago in the polytunnel in modules to grow them on. And this will give me a brilliant start. And then what I like to do is put that hot box back on and grow them on protected over the winter, protected from the winter winds. And I'll stake them in here, and the lid will be on the hot box for a wee while. And then once they're a bit taller and staked, I'll probably take it off. I was going to do that this year and I never did, and I must do it this year. So I'll plant this whole bed out, put the box back on, and then we'll go and plant something else. So there we go, they're all planted up inside this hot box, and I'll now put a lid on it and some weight on the lid to stop it blowing away. And I'm going to go and plant some more broad beans elsewhere. So there we go, all wrapped up for the winter. Now I've cleared these 2 beds. This one had all the sunflowers for Ukraine in here, and they didn't do as well as expected, but we got a few bunches of flowers and sold them, and I've added some money to it and sent it off to the Ukraine charity via the Red Cross. But this was all sunflowers, and this one behind me was all statice, both now cleared out and ready to replant. But something interesting popped up this year, and it's about the way sunflowers grow. And they are what they call allelopathic, and what that means is they will stop other plants growing in their area. So as the roots spread out, they will basically kill other plants or stop them growing, so that the sunflowers themselves can gather all the nutrients from the area where it wants to spread to. And apparently over time they will even stop themselves growing year on year. Eventually that ground will become this way. So I wanted to do a little test, a little trial on this. Say this was full of it. Most of the roots of these plants have been taken out. They've been pulled up. They haven't been dug up because this isn't no big bed. And I wanted to get as much root out as possible, but I know there's quite a lot remains in there. Now, the second thing is that I always grow brassicas in a seed bed, normally inside in the polytunnel, and I get tons of them, more than I need. And I've got some extra ones left over here. These are cauliflowers, and I'm going to plant these now over the winter in this bed to see if any of this remaining sunflowers in here actually stops or impedes their growth. So I'm going to fill this with all these cauliflowers, and I've got spring cabbage in there, and I can fill the whole bed with brassicas. and we'll just see over a period of time if that has a detrimental effect moving forward to the next year. It'd be interesting to know, certainly for me anyway. So we'll just see how it goes, really. Get these planted out. I mean, these plants are not in the best nick. They've been kind of used and abused. I'll just plant the good ones. There's one or two like this one here, which is rubbish. I'll get shut of the rubbish, but I'll just plant these up, and if they do well in here, then it's an extra crop for next year. You know, they'll grow on through the winter and crop into next spring. It'll be good for the hungry gap. I don't need them, I've got plenty planted elsewhere on the plots, but I thought there's a chance for an experiment and a trial, and to just see what happens. So there we go. I'll carry on with that and get that done, and then we'll move on to the next planting, the bed behind me. Well, I was going to finish off outside and plant these broad beans in that second bed, and I'll explain why and what I was going to do. Over the years, you plant the same plants every year, and every year you do a slight swerve away from what you learned and how you learned to do it at first. Inadvertently, you find out that things protected grow better, so you start protecting them, and then you protect them better. But broad beans are fairly hardy anyway. They don't need that protection. But I've found they grow better here on this plot by putting them in the hot box, as you see me do earlier. But sometimes it's always good to go back to the basics and just to get a comparison, to see what differences there are, to confirm that what you're doing is, A, it's working well, and it's working as you intended it to work. I say I was going to go out and plant those outside, and we're going to finish the video off there, but it's raining, so I'm not doing. I'll plant them on another day. But that was the idea with these, is I was just going to plant these without protection. I'll stake them as normal, but put them in that second bed. I've planted up the sunflower bed, got all brassicas in there, and we'll see how that works over the coming months. So don't forget to subscribe if you want to see the results of that and the results of any other little tests that I'm doing. But we'll get those planted over this next couple of days when we've got a dry spell and a can, and we'll see what the difference is sort of come harvest time next year, if they make it. I don't think they will personally, but I'm going to try anyway just to see. But that's it for today. Please stay safe everyone, look after yourselves, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Ta-ra now.